You're listening to Viking Radio, coming to you from Dream Street Studios at Del Mar College.
Hello, I'm your host, Dr. Natalie Chapa. Good morning, Coastal Bend. Thanks for joining Dr. Natalie Chapa and Mr. Mike Bratton on the show today. I am pleased to welcome our guest. We have our Vice President of Student Affairs from Del Mar College, Dr. Patricia Dominguez, joining us today. And I'm sorry, it's Patricia Benavides-Dominguez. And as we like to call her around here, Dr. PBD.
PBD.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
And Mike B., welcome on as well.
Good morning. Thank you.
Your first time miking up with us?
That's right.
Right. Excited. We decided that you will be serving as the colorful commentarian. Is that what we said?
Sure. Yes.
We'll give that a try.
Yeah. Okay. I prefer straight man, but I'm flexible.
We can do that too. But I also like Mike B. So,
Sure.
Are you good with Mike B? We'll give that a try. Dr. PBD, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so we kick off now with a new question for everybody. If you could have been anything in the whole wide world, what would you have been?
Well, if I had a voice, I would have loved to have been a great singer, right? Like, because in the shower, I swear I sound like Mariah Carey for sure. But, I'd love to entertain.
Would you love to give us a hint of that, a sample of your Mariah Carey-ness?
Oh, no. That would not go over well.
Okay, well, throughout the show...
You said it was, if I could be.
If you could be. But I'm just saying, throughout the show, if something, if you get the feel to, to go into song, be my guest. I come from a very musical family, but I did not get that gene. My siblings did. I have amazing singers in my family, but I personally did not. I have the raspy radio voice, which I think is why I got tapped to do this as my other duties assigned. So welcome to the show. We're going to talk about Del Mar College today. Talk a little bit about what you do here at the college and how long you've been here.
Okay, so I started here in 2005, so roughly around 21 years.
Wow, okay.
I did 5 years hard time in the registrar's office, and then I progressed to other departments.
Now, for our audience out there, what does the registrar's office at a college do? Because sometimes that name sounds a little weird to people.
Right. A lot of people think the registrar's office, that's where you go to register.
You register. Right.
No,
it is not.
That is not.
This is the registrar's office.
The registrar's office at an institution is the keeper of the record. Mm-hmm. So when you think of admissions is all onboarding, right? You do your applied texts, you submit all the required documents like your test scores, transcripts, and the registrar's office is post-admissions. Okay. So they handle if you have a change in address that makes you in district or out of district, or just a change of address, right?
Because that's important for tuition and fees purposes.
Yes,
right?
That's at a community college. We charge based on in district and out of district, as opposed to a university. You're either in state or out of state, right? Because we get funding from ad valorem taxes,
right?
And state-funded institutions do not, right? The registrar's office is the keeper of the record. So all the courses that you took are transcribed on a transcript, whether you withdrew, your grades. They handle most often all the graduation application processing. Because they're the keeper of the record, it makes sense because then they're the people that would confer the degree on your record.
So these are the detail-oriented people who keep the college going at that level, which is why I don't work there because Mike has never worked there, although you are detail-oriented in your writing.
That's true. Thanks.
But you have never served hard time in the registrar's office like
I have
Dr.
not.
PBD. So after registrar's office, you've done a whole bunch of cool things here.
So one final thing about the registrar's office, they are the certifying officials of a college. Most of the time, they submit all the official certified data to the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. So our enrollment,
Yes.
and various reports.
Graduation, right?
Graduation report,
yes.
student completion.
So usually when we're on the news or we're in the newspaper and we're quoting data, that's being certified by the registrar's office at the college.
Every board presentation
Yes.
that somebody does any kind of data, it all originated through the registrar's office or through the financial aid office. The financial aid office is another area under the student affairs, and that's the second certifying official of a college. And what they do is they certify the fiscal transcript of a student, right? What is the number of grants that we awarded, Pell and state? What is the number of loans that were dispersed?
So all the money stuff for a student.
All the money stuff,
Okay.
right? So there's an academic transcript to a student's record, and there's a fiscal transcript to a student's record that is required to be reportable and certified data.
Okay. Now, I want to back up just a little bit because Mike B. and I think we've talked about this, Mike. I started in January of 2014 here at the college. You started...
Same
in January 2014? Yep. Right at the same time. We came in right after Mike Unzaldua passed.
Oh, yes.
In fact, I think we came in and everybody was still grieving, still mourning such an amazing individual. He was somebody very special in your life.
For sure. He was a mentor. When I came in August 1st, 2005, Mike Unzaldua's sister, at that time, the registrar's office was combined with the admissions office on the second floor of the Harvin Center. And his sister, Delia Pierce, was I would say the office manager, right? Okay. So she kind of kept us all in line, and
as the office manager usually
kept things flowing, the data flowing, everything, right? At that time, the registrar's office, admissions office, used to handle all the scheduling, produce all the scheduling that you see out on our webpage, right? It was all centralized in that office. Now it's all decentralized, right? So it was her brother. And so, of course, he was a teacher here on campus. And then when I knew him, he was the interim dean of the Arts and Sciences department, right? Okay. And so, of course, he would come to visit his sister, and that's how I met him. And so he would host dinners and lunches. And so there was quite a few of us that would get together. Like he mentored me, he mentored Dr. Leonard Rivera, he mentored Rosalinda, who used to work in the College Relations office. So there was a Sandra Valerio who teaches English.
Sandra, one of our beloved instructors.
So he was kind of like our. I don't know how to describe him other than like a cherished Theo, right?
That is a true testament how one person can create so much culture here. And I'm really, that's one thing. I'm so sad that I never got to meet him and know him personally. But wow, his mentorship. I mean, look at you now. You came from hard time in the registrar's office.
Yes.
To now you're a VP of Student Affairs, which handles so much amazing, important things. One of the things that keeps coming up here is we've had so many of our students that record graduation, not just record graduation, record enrollment. So we're getting students in the door, but then we're getting students to complete. And a lot of that comes from your office. Let's talk a little bit about the Freedom to Dream Initiative. So first, for our listeners out there, what is the Freedom to Dream Initiative at Del Mar? The
Freedom to Dream Initiative is a waiver program where we, the president, we just finished year one of Freedom to Dream. And what we did was we targeted students that were the class of 2025 graduating seniors, whether you had college credit as a dual credit student or never took advantage of dual credit when you were in high school senior, and also adults that had stopped out and earned no more than 12 credit hours on their transcript, or adults that earned a GED and or graduated back in the day and never came.
But then never came to college.
Never
so
came.
all of these individuals would qualify for Freedom to Dream.
Right. And so these students, of course, the additional requirement is that students have to come full-time and, commit to meeting with an advisor twice a semester, maintain a 2.0 GPA status, and this offer is good for 3 years. So the summer of 2028, I think it will end for the first cohort, and so those.
So you've got 3 years.
3 years.
You come to Del Mar. You have to take 12 semester credit hours, which, give or take, is usually 4 classes, right? So let's say 4 classes, which is full-time in college.
Full-time fall, full-time spring. Summers are not required.
Okay.
But if you want to hurry up and quickly earn your credential, that's also available for you to attend, take 1 class or take full load, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
And so that students can complete their program of study and either go into the world of work or
continue
go to the university.
And so I think for us, that's still really big, right? We talk a lot about workforce and short-term credentials, which are so important in our industry-based economy here. But our transfer program is also extremely robust.
It's
right?
very, very important that students either, like I said, graduate and jump into the world of work, depending on what your degree is, or transfer. And I think as in our community, we have a very good college-going culture, but we always need to work on a college completion culture.
Absolutely. Yes.
The data tells us that.
Yeah. And that's a big switch for us, I think, even in community colleges, because if you're out in the community, people are always asking, what's your enrollment number? How many students do you have this fall? But yes, that's important, right? We got to bring them in, but we've got to complete them. And so it might be your great example. You were an alumni.
That's right. Proud graduate, 1998. And every chance I get, I like to speak to non-traditional students. I came to Del Mar College when I was 26, and Freedom to Dream tuition waiver program takes a great financial weight off of your shoulders. If you are in your 20s, even your 30s, 40s, 50s, you could possibly qualify for Freedom to Dream.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you've got to take, again, but give or take the 4 classes. Because did you transfer to the university?
I did.
Okay. And then your degree is in, which I should know.
Communications.
Okay. I thought it might be journalism too. So Mike B is a great example of, again, our non-traditional students. And for people out there, non-traditional student, we usually count, over the age of 25?
Over the age of 25.
Right? You're not right out of high school. You've had a few years of life experience. And for whatever reason, you've decided to come back.
I, too, was an alumni of Del Mar College. I came right out of high school, but I didn't graduate from Del Mar.
What year was that, Dr.
That was
PBD?
In 1982.
Okay.
Summer of 82 is when I came here right after graduation. And then I transferred out of state. And I don't know why I didn't get my degree from here, because I think I have 50 some hours.
Oh my gosh.
But it just I don't know what happened.
Well, back then the focus wasn't so much about that, right? It was just you don't necessarily have to transfer out, which now we want you to transfer. We want you to get to a certain point.
I think back then for me, I knew I needed to earn the 4-year degree to get a job, and I didn't equate that earning the 2-year degree was just as important.
Yeah, well, because we were part of that generation that got you have to go to the 4-year university in order to be, meaningful in the workforce, which now things are completely different. Right?
Oh, yes.
We'll be right back.
This is where the world opens up to possibility, to action, to success. This is Windward Campus at Del Mar College, where cutting-edge facilities prepare you for careers in high-demand fields, and industry professionals bring real-world experience to the classroom. This is a place of discovery, opportunity, and growth. This is where potential becomes your power. This is where you belong. Learn more at dmcdreams.com.
So we have two Del Mar College alumni here. And again, for our audience joining us, we have in studio with us today, Dr. Patricia Benavides-Dominguez. She is our Vice President of Student Affairs here at Del Mar College. And then your guest, Natalie Chapa. And we've got Mike B on the side mic over here, providing commentary.
Thank you. Happy to.
The other department in student affairs is the student engagement and retention
That's
department.
significant.
And that's a very significant department that's led by Dean Rita Hernandez. And under
Rita Margarita, as we like to call her.
under her department, she's got tutoring, she's got all the access and advocacy that students, if they need assistance with anything. She also has all the LPC advising, student code of conduct issues, campus life with Beverly Cage.
And let's pause there a little bit, because you just said there's so many things to help students, right? So if you're a student out there, if you're a parent, grandparent, family friend out there listening, if we have tutoring available, man, our tutors are phenomenal. And a lot of them do it, again, out of passion and love for helping students. So math, I always tell people, math, go to the tutoring center. That is why they're there. So like you were saying, under Dean Hernandez, there's that. But also advocacy. Explain to people, what does that even mean? When we say we are here, we have an advocacy office for our student. What does that mean?
We have students that when they come from the ISD, sometimes they might have been on a 504 plan at their independent school district.
So meaning that they had some sort of
learning
disability
that they need assistance here. Maybe they need a reader. Maybe they need a note taker. It could be also physical compensation, right? Maybe they need a particular chair to be in a classroom.
A certain accommodation.
Accommodation.
To make you comfortable.
Right. I know when, several years ago, when my husband, had back issues, he had to have a hard chair. He couldn't sit in a desk. So they accommodated him with just a simple, hard chair, right? And so sometimes people have vision disabilities, and they need things to increase the font size.
So there's so many ways.
So many ways.
And
right?
again, if you're out there and you're thinking there's no way I can go to college, there's no way I can do the work because there's a challenge in your life, please come talk to somebody here at the college, because we have so many resources, because we want to help you succeed.
Right. In testing situations, sometimes you may need a longer time to take the test. That's also done through that office. As well as that office also, Rita Hernandez takes care of the testing, the Student Success Center. And in terms of tutoring, students have lots of options here. Students have
many options
of going to the Math Learning Center, going to the Speech Center, going to the Stone Writing Center, and also the Student Success Center. Some are run by faculty, they're led, and like the Student Success Center is run through Rita's area. They have technology resource where students can check out laptops, or they can check out calculators.
Yeah, we have technology for people.
Right.
And so I was talking to one of our Freedom to Dream students last night, Joseph Ramirez. And he was part of the group of students that came. Remember, we did that group. So for our listeners out there, after we started the Freedom to Dream cohort, Dr. Escamilla then invited a group of students to come in and tell us what we're doing good, what's going good, what's going bad. And it just so happened the three of us, I believe, were in there with them. But Joseph was one of our students. So I ran into him last night, and he said this last semester was a little tough. He took 15 hours, And we're like, why did you do that, Joseph? Stick to the 12. He's like, I thought I could do it. And he could, but he had some challenges. And when I asked him about tutoring, he said, I don't have time to go on campus. But there's a solution for that.
Sure is. It's tutor.com.
That's right. So even if you're at home, right, if you put the kids to bed.
It is a 24/7 resource.
So Joseph, if you're out there listening, I'm totally calling you out. Go to tutor.com, bud.
Right.
It's for you.
You know, and from a personal level, I know my daughter a while back, she was a student here. She ended up taking one course here. And I told her so she ended up taking a math course. She went to the math learning center. She loved it, right? She liked and then she went to the Student Success Fund, hooked up with a tutor there. Mm-hmm. But then, she works shift work. So, she was ending up like, Mom, I got on tutor.com and at 2:00 in the morning, there is someone can help you. At 2 a.m., I was working night shift. I had a break at work and I logged in and and it was just what I needed. Sometimes she goes, I really prefer the one-on-one tutoring.
Sure.
But in a pinch and you've got to get through an assignment.
Yeah, it was 2 a.m. She was doing shift work.
Yeah, they were there to help me. And it was, she goes, so I like it all. She liked it all, right? And she felt like that was such a good service. And the data tells us that a lot of the students that go on tutor.com are our dual credit population.
Okay.
And
so the kiddos in high school.
The kiddos in high school, because during the day they're so involved with school and extracurricular activities, so it's in the evening, right? Which makes sense by the time they get home from practice. So the dual credit actively partake in the tutor.com as well as adults, right? So we're glad, and the majority of the time is after 5.
I think that's a testament. We talk a lot about all of our students here. We meet people where they're at. So we have 17-year-olds, we have 50-year-olds, right, in our courses. And so it's a blessing, right? But sometimes a challenge in that we want to be supportive of everybody. But that's one really great example that, again, if you can log on to the computer, you can get on tutor.com and get tutoring at any time. I know both of y'all mentioned being non-traditional students. Mike, looking back now, right? I mean, even back then you were a non-traditional student, but you were pretty young. You were in your mid-20s,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Looking back now, what you see with our students now, because you've been here at the college for a while, what advice do you give to somebody who's worried about coming back again and worried about being non-traditional?
I would say, first of all, that it's never too late. So get that out of your mind if you think that you're too old. You're never too old. Secondly, I would reinforce what Patricia has been talking about with the services, the support services at Del Mar College. My whole life I've struggled with math, especially algebra. And it was a Del Mar College tutor who saved my bacon in algebra. And thirdly, I would just say, college is, to a great degree, I would say, more than 50%, it's about time management. If you can organize your daily schedule, even if you work full-time, it's about time management. Showing up for your class. Showing up for your class is, that's half the job right there. But you can do this. You got this. And Del Mar College definitely has your back. And if I can make it through algebra at Del Mar College, you can too.
And I'm going to give a shout out to one of those tutors. He has been here for a long time, David Longnecker. Oh, wow. So I happen to know David out. Our daughters are friends, but he has been a math tutor here at the college for a really long time. And wow, he's amazing.
Mike, I'm so glad you said that, because another aspect that's new to Rita's area is success coaching.
Okay.
And
what's that?
That was an opportunity that the foundation found for us with the Dell Foundation. And so Rita had the opportunity to hire success coaches, and those success coaches outreach, of course, to the Freedom to Dream students, but she's allowed to expand this success coaches, and so any student who needs help, they are there to pretty much help students manage what I like to call like navigating college, right? Because you have your academic advisors in the academic programs of study, right? You have whether it's a faculty advisor or if that academic department has an embedded advisor, and in conjunction with a success coach. The success coach helps you, kind of understand your core syllabus, understand like, you're trying to manage a lot and sometimes you get overwhelmed, kind of like talk you down from the ledge, so to speak.
Yes, because you're bringing up just really quickly that vocabulary that we all know here in this room. Mm-hmm. It's our college speak, but if you've been out of school for a long time, it's like, oh, that's right, a syllabus. Mm-hmm. Those things that you just kind of forget about.
Right.
That are intimidating.
And sometimes a student gets overwhelmed or like, I'm having a problem and, you need to go to this department. And sometimes, or you need to approach a faculty member and how to approach a faculty member, how to write an effective email, right? How to, not be afraid to ask for the help that you need, basically.
And so that's what the success coach does.
Right. And to kind of like your cheerleader, to cheer you on, you can do this. Just like what Mike was saying, you're never too old, it's never too late. Or like that student that, it's some semesters are more challenging than others. And like what I've told students in the past, just yesterday, I had a dual credit student who's been with me since 9th grade. He happens to be a family friend, right?
Okay.
Close friend. And so his dad wanted him to take a college course before he goes to the university in the fall. And so he's chosen to take a core course here that he really doesn't care for. But it's unavoidable if you want that
He's
degree.
He's going to have to take it.
Right?
Right, yes.
And so he was like, I'm really not going to like this. And I said, just think about it this way. I said, wouldn't you rather have it for 6 weeks than 16?
Exactly.
Right? And so I said, you're going to have
down.
I said, you're going to have to
get it done.
dig deep, right? Go to tutoring. I told him all the stuff. And of course, so did his dad. His dad and I are good friends. And he texts me back. He goes, yeah, don't worry, Trisha, I'm locked in. And I said, okay, great. You're locked in.
I love it. Lock it,
I'm
locked
in, right?
Well, and I want to give a shout out to, you mentioned the Dell Foundation that worked with the Del Mar College Foundation under Matthew Busby and team. Talk about great resources. And so shout out to them. If you out there listening are on the Del Mar College Foundation board, thank you so much for all the work you do. This is a great example of what the work that you do helps our community and our students here at Del Mar College. But I want to thank Dr. Patricia Benavides-Dominguez for coming on with us. We've learned so much today about being a student, how to be successful, about freedom to dream. If somebody wants to learn more about freedom to dream, we need to go on
delmar.edu/freedom.
Freedom.
Very nice.
And we would love to have you because we are always here at Del Mar rocking and enrolling.
Rocking and enrolling. Thank you, Dr. PBD.
This is Viking Radio. This show is a production of Del Mar College.